Minasan konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Welcome to Musings from Japan, number 37, Greg.
Yep, 37.
Do you remember when you were 37?
Yes, I do.
I was here. I was here. I was in Japon. I was in Japon. Anyways,
Japon.
So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing another Musings, and we're gonna, talk about a lot of musing stuff.
By the way, who are you?
I'm Mark Marin.
I'm Greg Taylor.
And where are we?
We're in Japan.
In Japan, yeah.
That's why we're calling it Musings from Japan.
You know what's kind of funny? I want to just point this out because maybe somebody will make a comment or something. But I noticed that your shirt, you have elephants, and on my shirt it says gorilla.
Oh yeah, we're wearing animal shirts. It's
yes.
What is it? Animal Day.
It's animal, and I have a hunching tiger behind me. And
I know what I was going to tell you about the
Kumamoto
shirt.
back there.
So it was, without saying the month per se, you can figure out what the month by the posting. If you look at the posting for a short time, you know, when this video is posted on YouTube, it was 4 years ago that I visited the United States last time. I only visit, since I've lived in Japan on a visa, I've only been to the United States one time. But
since that time also, we've had over 18 months of pandemic, so that prevented you. So
yeah, prevented me from even thinking about going.
Yeah, so.
And there was that thought of going, but no, that was we're in over 18 months.
Yeah, what do you call the mind was willing, but the flesh was weak, or the flesh was willing? I don't know, whatever the kotowaza is.
That's right. But I'll tell you this shirt is from Thailand. I bought this shirt at a flea market in
Thailand.
And
down in the Southeast,
so
South
17,
Asian area.
17 in August in 2017, 18 and 19, my family and I went to Thailand.
Yeah.
And so in 2019, I got this shirt in Thailand, and I got another brown shirt.
Does it say on the back that I went to Thailand and all I got was this shirt?
This lousy T-shirt or this. Yeah, no, it doesn't say that. But it was ironic because when I went to America 4 years ago, it was the first time I had left the country, Japan. Since I came here in September of 2013.
Yeah.
And so it was September 2017. And I remember going back to America. I might have already mentioned this on a previous Musings.
I think all of them you have, yes.
Possibly so.
But that's okay. It's Musings.
Well, I'm going to muse some more.
Good.
So I went to America, and I remember how long it had seemed since I'd been there. It'd been 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now this September here is 4 years from when I went to America the first time, and I haven't been back. So I've been only once, and that's exactly half of my life in Japan. So it's halfway through my life in Japan to this point. I went to America.
There it is. And
it was like yesterday almost.
Just like yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, but time flies, Greg. I'm thinking about all the times I've gone back to America. When was the last time?
Well, you've been to America 4 or 5 times since I've lived here.
Yeah, but the last time was over 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was 2 years ago in January or so.
And it's kind of a weird thing, you have a friend like yourself, and then I think, wow, my great friend is gone he's in America, and I'm here in Japan.
Yep. And
kind of like,
but Hantai, yeah, the opposite. But you went to Thailand.
Yeah,
I didn't go to Thailand.
I also feel like Thailand, it's a 6-hour plane ride coming back, but no, going to Thailand at 6 hours is about 5 coming back from Thailand to Japan. It's about 5 hours.
Well, to where you live.
Yeah, Nagoya.
Yeah, but not to where I live. It's a little further. So
a little further. That's right.
Only because it's not
a little bit more north.
Yeah, more north, and it's not. We don't have any direct flights. You had a direct flight, right?
Yeah, nonstop.
Yeah. See,
so here you'd have to go to Korea.
I could go to Korea, I could go to Narita, or I can go to Nagoya from here.
Yeah.
And transfer. So
it'd be a lot further actually for you.
Yeah, it just depends on the price.
Yeah. So
I think when I went to Thailand, which was 100 years ago, back in the turn of the century, I went to Thailand. Let's see, how did I go? I went to Narita. In fact, I remember I think I took a Shinkansen from Niigata to Narita, stayed in a hotel, and left the next morning.
Yeah, that's nice. I've done that before. I think the first time I went to Thailand, it was ironic because
ironic.
The night the day before I went to I went to America in September.
Mm-hmm.
There was a piano recital at the Civic Center here in Okazaki.
There it is.
And that's where I was at today.
Oh, that's right, huh? You had a hapyokai.
Family, yeah. Hapyokai. Hi, so that's it.
A family piano recital.
Yep.
And with your son did Rachmaninoff 3, was it?
2.
2. Oh, I'm sorry. Rachmaninoff 2.
Rachmaninoff. Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, and then ironically, that was the same time of year that I went to America.
But now it's funny. It's funny. Your prefecture is on a state of emergency.
Oh,
this is right. You had over 1,000 new cases. You've been averaging over 1,000 new cases of COVID every day for the last 2 weeks. And yet you had a recital and everyone went, wearing masks, I assume. But, had a nice recital, right? Whereas where I'm at, we're not on the state of emergency. We had the first death of COVID in Niigata Prefecture this last week.
Your first death the whole year.
Pandemic. Since the pandemic started. So
wow.
In 19 months of the pandemic in Japan or in Niigata, we've had one death. And the death was actually legit because they didn't have any underlying conditions. They didn't smoke, they didn't drink. It was actually a COVID death. So but here in Niigata Prefecture, we had our highest level of cases, which I think we had like 100 and a little over 100 once or twice. Which is nothing. But see, Greg, they shut down our prefecture. I was supposed to perform Beethoven's 9. I think I mentioned that. We were canceled. So I'm not singing. So
auditioned for it.
Everything I passed. I got my German down. I mean, I did an audition. I had to stand there and sing in a quartet and in front of the judges. And then they said, okay, but what happened? It canceled. But you went to a concert recital during this case, and technically on paper, your prefecture is in more severe case than ours, yet ours takes more draconian measures than your prefecture.
Well, what it was is there was a private music school, and they had a large, it wasn't a large hall, but it was a medium-sized hall.
Greg, they canceled the Rise Up Big Band rehearsal. They closed the small, you've been there, the practice room. They closed the whole building.
Yeah,
we can't have practice. You see what I'm saying? You still, even it's a small hall, in Niigata, those are canceled. Those are shut down. We can't even practice at Onbun, Ongaku Bunka Niigata, closed down. Utopia closed down. Kemikaika, they're rebuilding it. So it's kind of nice for them. There's nobody in the way. They're reforming the whole building. But I can't even practice. Like, I'm not supposed to be talking to you now, Greg. I'm supposed to be practicing jazz.
Oh, yeah? Well, but Kemikaika is that nice hall that had the unique shape, isn't it?
No, that's Utopia.
Yeah, but no. I'm not talking about the big hall. I'm talking about the mid-size hall.
Okay, but it's not unique shape. It's the box.
Well, yeah, but it's to me it was unique.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That is okay. Yeah. But actually it's a nice hall. It's a very nice hall. I love the acoustics in that hall. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's
Cool
not a
stuff.
it's not a small hall, and it's not a
Yeah.
big hall.
Yeah. It holds about 1,200 people.
Yeah. So it
You
was a
know.
nice, I thought it was a nice place for a concert.
Yep. But it's under they're reforming it. They're renovating it.
Well, I know
Um,
that in America, two classical performing arts places in America, they put in all new seating while they had the opportunity to do it.
well, yeah, because you got a pandemic, so you got
Yep.
nobody's in your way. So it's kind of
Both
cool.
the Chicago Opera, Lyric Opera in Chicago, and the San Francisco Opera, they completely replaced their seating.
Oh, that's cool. So well, at least that's cool. So well, so today you went to the recital, but also
Yeah,
you said
but
you
you
were
know, let me add something to that, and
you were
that is,
looking at on something online though. That was cool.
oh yeah, I'll tell you about that. But real quick, to
Ooh,
finish the recital,
okay.
um, only families were allowed in at the moment, and it was a block time. And
Mm-hmm.
then everybody had to leave, and you could only go in about a few minutes before the performance, and then you saw the performance. So we left as soon as it was done,
Mm.
and then so it was almost like a family recital. The nearest family was maybe 10 seats away.
Yeah, that's cool. You know.
So it was empty. There was maybe a few families that were in the hall at the time, and but yet it was still a nice opportunity to hear a music performance.
Yeah, I.
But last night, it's summer here in Japan, so
Well, the
last night
end of summer. Yeah.
yeah, and I think I think it was the last or close to the end of the festival that they have every summer in Matsumoto,
Mm-hmm.
which is the director is Seiji Ozawa, the famed Japanese conductor. He has this festival that's named after him, and it's with the Saito Kinen Orchestra. The Seiji Ozawa.
It's named after his teacher, Saito.
Right. The Saito Kinen, but now they put his name on the festival as well.
Yeah, but he created it in honor of his mentor.
Teacher and mentor.
Yeah,
that's right. So anyway, Ozawa didn't conduct last night, but they had the orchestra, and it was conducted by the well-known conductor Charles Dutoit, the French conductor, and then
Chuck.
Well, anyway, let's just put it this way: I don't think he'll be conducting in America anytime soon.
I want to Chuck Detroit.
Chuck. No, but I have memories of that particular conductor because I think he was a former conductor of the NHK Symphony.
Yes,
and so he conducts a lot in Japan.
He is still one of the conductor emeriti of the NHK Symphony, and I saw him here in Niigata 20 some odd years ago conducting the NHK Symphony Orchestra in Kemikaikan.
Yep.
I sat 3 rows back. I packed house, and I went because he's a specialist in Berlioz.
That's right. Yeah.
And he did the Symphonie Fantastique, and he did the Roman Carnival. It was the overture. So
well, I remember when he also was the former music director of the Montreal Symphony.
Montreal.
Yeah, and so
see, you called Michel Dutoit, and then you go Montreal.
Well,
So Chuck,
because I just focus on one language that's not my own, and that's Japanese. In fact,
Ora, okay, let me see. Mite kudasai. Let's say, kanji, sige.
So that's a kanji book.
Yay, kanji.
I have like 10 books on kanji.
You opened it.
I opened it.
Wow.
That's a rare moment.
That's a rare moment. Everyone welcome you. So
yeah, I can see I see the very first book I ever received in Japan.
Mm.
And it's green. It's over there.
It's green
on my bookshelf. Yeah, but that's the very first book I ever received for Japanese language instruction. Tell
me about the concert. How was it?
Okay, so the concert was great. What they did was the Saito Kinen Festival. They canceled because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Getting worse. They worse once again. they canceled their live performances for the last 10 or 11 days of the festival in Matsumoto, Nagano Prefecture, and they but they did have this concert. I think it was live, and I'm not sure it was broadcast live.
It was
on YouTube.
live, yeah. It was.
Yeah. So I think they did it staged for YouTube, and it was fantastic. 15,000 people watched it live on YouTube.
What was the program?
It was the first one was Ravel, I believe.
Ravel?
No, it was Debussy. Oh my gosh. I forgot the first piece, but the second piece was La Mer. And then they also did
well, then they did like Nuage and Fête and La Mer.
No, I forgot what the first piece was, but it was
Prelude to an Afternoon.
No, they didn't do that, but they did.
Let's see, what other Debussy is famous?
I think they did. I think they did. Was it La Mer? They did. No,
must be La Mer. That's like what in Japan it's very popular.
Yeah, well, what they do. My gosh, what they do.
Man, Greggy.
I feel really bad. I'm losing my memory, but the final piece was L'Oiseau de Feu. The Stravinsky Firebird Suite.
The Firebird. Yeah, I'm looking here at the festival here. Let's see.
I can tell you, or maybe I can tell you if I look at I have a PDF. I can tell you what they did. Let's see. They did. Yesterday was the 3rd. Here it is. I found it. So I'm looking on my computer.
I'm looking too. Yeah.
This was 7:00 last night live, and it was.
Right.
Program okay.
B.
Here it is. Yeah, Program B. They did.
Ravel, Ma Mère Leroy Suite.
Yeah, they did, and then they did La Mer, and then
Debussy's
after that, it was
Prelude to the Afternoon of Fawn.
Yep.
See.
Yep. And then
do I know my Japanese taste?
Yeah, but you know what? What's interesting is it was a fantastic orchestra, and I saw I had a recording that I made from WFMT Chicago.
There's Charles, your buddy.
Yeah, well, I love him as a conductor. I think he was magnificent as a conductor, and for a time. I don't know how long ago, but he was married to the famed pianist Marta Argerich, and Argerich has been to Nagoya several times.
Key point was,
yeah, several times in the past few years. So she was here last year, I think, and the year before, right before the pandemic, she was here, and many consider her. She's considered by many to be the greatest living pianist.
That's subjective.
Completely subjective.
I think Herbie Hancock is probably the greatest living pianist.
Well, I know that. Well, there you go.
And he's living. I think he's got more chops than she does.
Well, certainly jazz chops.
Hey, I heard him play Mozart.
Oh, he was a fine classical musician, I think.
He was a great classical musician. He was an award-winning classical musician.
And then so she.
And he's got Bob chops, Greg.
Great.
He's got Oscar Peterson chops. I saw him live at Tokyo Jazz Festival. I got my Uchiwa up here. It was in 2002. He was the producer of that.
So tell us Uchiwa Ego de Nantiu.
Uchiwa is a fan.
That's right. That was for me.
Okay, Greg. I've got a. Why are celebrities always cool?
Because they have fans.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Anyway, sorry.
That's the Musings from Japan number 30.
That's pun number 37. Yeah.
Yeah. 37 joke. Yeah. So this concert was fantastic, and it was great to watch.
Did you watch it by yourself or
by myself?
Oh.
Yeah. But I mean,
so I was able to. You're watching on your Mac or your PC there?
Oh, I was watching it on my cell phone, my iPhone.
I'm sorry. I can't. I hate that.
I know, but that's sometimes it works. And you just put the headphones on and turn the screen to the side like this, and it does what it does. But then I put it on the TV, because on my TV I have an Apple TV.
That's what I was going to say. You have an Apple TV. You should be watching it there.
It was fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
You can see the sweat coming down the face,
Yeah.
as they're sawing away on the La Mer.
Yeah, it's some really great playing, and some that's really terrific.
Well, that's the one thing that I really appreciate about Japan since being here. I mean, of course, we have great music in America, and but here actually it's very accessible. I mean,
well, it's very accessible, and it's
quality,
everywhere.
and the quality is excellent. I mean,
in some area, in some ways, it's not the best quality. It's kind of mediocre quality. But
I've never heard a mediocre orchestra in this country.
I have.
I mean a community orchestra that's mediocre, really?
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm not going to talk about who it was.
I mean, to tell me, I want to know, because I'm going to go slap that conductor. So how dare they lower the standards of this country?
It was quite amazing, because it was completely sold out, and it was Mahler's. I forgot what the piece on the first half was. Oh, it was a Tchaikovsky's violin concerto by a prodigy. I mean, she was amazing, and so she nailed the concerto.
Now the orchestra was mediocre according to you, or people were going, "Ew, that stunk"?
No, according to my professional assessment. But I would prefer to not say too much about it. But yes, I have heard.
I want to go
mediocre performances.
Your performances. Okay, tell me another one that you heard.
Oh, I'd rather keep to the positive.
In Japan. I'm sorry. I can go right up here to Yamagata, to a prefecture that's smaller than Fresno County, and they have an outstanding professional orchestra.
Oh, great!
Just a magnificent. And I've played in magnificent orchestras in this country, from the Kansai up to here. I mean, when you say mediocre, I'm thinking. I mean, I think you're misusing the word mediocre.
No, they were mediocre.
Wow, I'm sad. I have many people to slap.
Okay. And it was, and I say that because I'm just stating it as it was, and it kind of sounded like Mahler in sections.
Ugh.
So it was pretty interesting. But actually, I was very happy that I went to that event. And I was
and that was a professional orchestra.
It was a community orchestra.
But that's different. I'm talking professional orchestra. I was like, it's like, whoa, you scared me.
But I will say this, that I was glad that it was so well attended and so professionally run, in terms of they had.
So it was a community orchestra, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I don't want to be.
No, that makes a difference, Greg. I don't want as a person.
It was mediocre.
As a person, I mean, if it's a community orchestra, I understand it being mediocre.
Well, but to be honest, I don't know if it's community or not.
Oh, if it's professional, that's what I mean. I want to go slap some people.
Okay.
Your homework is to find out if those people got paid. I got people to slap. This is ridiculous.
No.
I'm sorry. I don't want to lower the standard of this country.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, needless to say, it was still enjoyable to go, and I was happy that I was there. But it was it was very well run, and but the festival that they have for the Saito Kinen Festival is a world class festival.
Yeah.
And it's on the highest level. It's just, I mean, it's extraordinary. And when you have Seiji Ozawa there running it, it's pretty special.
Well, he doesn't run it, actually. He's just the artistic director. He programs, he chooses the people, and he used to do the opera part, and that's the big thing. That's the big drag, is they do operas, and they like to do operas that are a little more obscure.
Oh, I think they've done Oedipus Rex and Stravinsky's opera, things like that.
Even more obscure. They did Les Troyens. They did Berlioz's opera. There's the first performance of Le Troyan out in Asia. They premiered it there. That was about 15 years ago. So I tried to get tickets and I couldn't get tickets to go to it. They had an on-call thing, right? You want to get tickets, so get on the phone right when it was time, 9:00, call them up, couldn't get in, and then in 20 minutes sold out. It's like,
so I'm going to turn on my fan in this room.
The fan club?
Yeah, I'm going to turn on the fan. And
wait a minute. Why do celebrities have? Oh, wait, we already did that joke. Sorry.
I don't know if you can hear the fan.
No. Okay. Cough?
Nope. I got to sneeze.
Sneeze. Go ahead.
I'll be back, folks.
Oh, man. Now, while Greg Taylor's on silence, he's sneezing in his hand, and now he is back to normal. Greg?
I'm not back to normal. It just won't happen.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
I want a tissue?
Japan. No, okay. You're like 283 miles away from me as far as the
I'll
U.S.
put it in
measurement.
I'll put it in. There
as far as the U.S. measurement goes.
Okay. Well, anyway,
far away.
Speaking about U.S. measurements, how's the weather?
Well,
I mean,
it was very rainy today.
This is kind of cool.
Thunder showers.
This is kind of cool because now the difference in weather change between us actually will change quicker for you now, I think, right?
I think so. I think we got another really month of warm or hot kind of weather, but then and then we have 2 months until it gets cold.
For you.
Because the first week, well, even for you too, because the first week of November, it gets cold.
Yeah, I mean, here it's already getting cool. I mean, we're talking, it's already today, like last night, it was in the teens.
But let me just show you today.
Mm-hmm.
This was I was in the piano recital, and I got this app here. It's in U.S. standards, but this is a thunderstorm that we had coming in today.
And you see Okazaki, put it down, your phone down a little bit. Yeah, see Okazaki there, that little blue dot, that big red cloud was coming to attack Greg.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, I saw the news just a couple hours ago here. Greg, you have tornado warning, so be careful.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When? Earlier
2 hours
today?
ago. 2 hours ago.
Yeah,
now,
I believe it.
Now, because they're saying through tonight, through tomorrow morning. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen now because the thunderstorms are all dying off.
No, that's good. So.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was pretty crazy weather for a while. And we were in the hall, this concert hall, and you could hear boom, 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 boom outside while the music was playing in the loudspeaker before the concert.
That's kind of cool, huh?
What's interesting is before a concert, a major concert or a major concert is here in Japan, the audiences are very silent. And then you got this buzzer noise that goes, and then it's
Mamanaku.
Yeah.
Honjitsu.
Mark is speaking formal, polite Japanese.
Mamanaku.
Now.
まもなく32回音楽発表会 Greg Taylor 指揮者です。よろしくお願いします。
Yeah. And sometimes they say よろしくお願いいたします。
Yeah. よろしくお願いいたします。お願いいたします。
Yeah.
I spoke formal Japanese. Help me. Okay, I feel better.
Yeah, so we could speak. Mark and I do this sometimes. Sometimes we revert to Japanese.
We have to because we live in Japan.
It's like, and that's why sometimes when we refer to places, like we say Aichi-ken, Mie-ken,
Nagaro-ken,
Niigata-ken. And what we're saying is Niigata Prefecture. Watanabe-ken, yeah, the actor. See? It's like, who knows who he is? Not that many Americans, unless you watched that Last Samurai.
Actually, many Americans might know him, but they would not know it in that order. They would say Ken Watanabe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. Because Japan, the family name comes first and the given name is last, and there's no middle name. So
I think they I think Japan even wants the foreign countries to start calling in English.
Yes.
For example, Tanaka Ryoko, or like a name, like the family name.
Right.
They want the Japanese method.
So you should be Taylor Greg.
I do say, I say, Taylor Greg desu. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
I don't do that.
You know what I don't? I say Greg Taylor desu.
Yeah, you can't do that because we're a gaijin. We're foreigners.
Yeah, and I do that. But on my official foreign stuff, I do that because I have to do it on my official documents.
Yeah.
The things that I have here.
Right. But but what I was going to say is that there's some lots of changes in Japan right now, and the one thing we didn't discuss before, the election.
Oh, the election. Coming. Yeah.
Because
what
right
news
now,
do you have on Prime Minister Suga?
Yeah, Prime Minister Suga is not going to run for re-election. He's going to focus his efforts for the rest of the month on handling the pandemic and let the party play with it. Now, what? Just so you know, Greg, and all the people all the 6 or 7 people that watch us, I'm teaching a class this term at my school called Current Issues, and it's a textbook. It's the textbook is references from the Japan Times. So we use materials from the Japan Times, which is the oldest English language newspaper in Japan, very British based liberal newspaper. And I'm using the article from a year ago about Suga when he became the prime minister. So I had already, for the last 2 weeks, Greg, I've been studying and I made my lessons based on Suga running again. And I was going to set up my class. We were going to have debates. Did Suga follow through with his promises? Was he doing this? Is it blah, 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 issues to do with the election? And then yesterday he announces, I'm not going to run for re-election. So my lessons are all screwed up. So I have to change the questions. I have to change because now, I don't know if Americans, I don't know if I don't know, understand how the system works in Japan, because this is called it is a monarchy still, but it's like a British style monarchy where it has a parliament, but it's a mixture of 3 different country style governments. Did you know that?
No, but I just knew there was it's a constitutional monarchy.
Constitutional monarchy, but see, when we as Americans say constitutional, we have one thought, but erase that thought. That's not the kind of constitutional monarchy. This government doesn't run down that kind of constitutional principle. This government runs basically on kind of what they do in Holland, in Norway, Sweden. They have 2 houses like we do. We have a House of Representatives and a Senate. They have a House of counselors and representatives. The counselors are the high house and the representatives are the low house. So more like the British style parliament.
And they call it, and they're both in the Diet.
In the whole group's called the Diet, where we say the Congress or the Parliament in British, they call it the Diet, which comes from that Norway, Sweden, Dutch, Holland kind of system. But the power of this government is not in the Diet. You know that, right, Greg?
No.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. But the power is not in the prime minister either. It's what the power is in the cabinet. This is why in Japan, if you notice, they always do all the stupid surveys on the cabinet, and people talk about the distrust or the favor of the cabinet. The cabinet post wield all the power in this country. So how the cabinet is chosen is by the ruling party, whoever has the majority. And in Japan, since 1952, when this government system started, under the Constitution that was helped written by the American government, by General Douglas MacArthur. In fact, since that time, there's been one party that has primarily been in control of the government of Japan. That's the LDP, which would be called the center right conservative party. They control this country. There have only been 2 instances where the LDP didn't have control, and that was when the Social Democrats, which now is a very minor party, but they had control for a couple times. But outside of that, it's been the LDP. So every prime minister is chosen by the ruling party. So Suga stepping down has made it now put the LDP in a kind of turmoil. So I'll look at my calendar here. On September, basically from about September 17, they're going to do party elections. The LDP now has to go and reorganize itself and choose a new party president, since Suga, who's the prime minister and the party president, is stepping down. His term ends on September 29th. So September 29th, they're going to take a vote and choose a new party president. But the new party president doesn't automatically become prime minister, because to do that, you need to you have to reconvene the Diet, and the lower house, the House of Representatives of the Diet, has to choose or approve it. But they can't do that because on October 16th or something, they're going to have an election for the House of Representatives. So technically, this country, from around the end of September for about 3 weeks, will have no leader, no president, no prime minister.
So it's going to be run by the cabinet.
It's going to be run by the cabinet. The existing cabinet controls everything. See, like in America, if the president's gone, you got the vice president or the Speaker of the House. Right? There's a delineation of power, but all of it comes from the Congress, the Parliament. In Britain, it's the same thing. The prime minister goes down; it goes into the leader of the upper house or lower house of the British Parliament. They have the leader, the speakers will do that. But in Japan, the cabinet controls all that. So the Secretary General of the Suga cabinet will assume the power. Assume. It's not.
Well, there's no. So how are you to like say that the finance minister, or say that I don't know, the guy who's in charge of transportation or whatever.
Well, finance minister is Taro Aso, who's a former prime minister. I know him. He's a nice guy. Yeah.
So. I have no reply. That's amazing.
Anyway,
Mark knows everybody, and that's why in Niigata he's called.
No, I don't know him. I just know that I just know of him. Anyway. Yeah. So what's your hypothetical question?
Well, so does that mean that if the finance minister or the transportation guy says, nope, I don't want to build that bridge, it doesn't get done?
No, see, because under the cabinet, this is now the other part of this that makes this horrible. The cabinet, each one of the cabinet members has created its own bureaucracy. It has this whole, so many levels of bureaucracy that's going. So whatever is happening, whatever the decisions have been made right at this moment, they continue, but that cabinet minister cannot stop the bureaucracy. The bureaucracy keeps running. In order for him to stop that, you have to change the prime minister. But there's no prime minister. So until there's a new prime minister comes in, and then what he does, or she, I should say, when they, is that the proper pronoun? Anyway, when whoever takes over as the prime minister will reshuffle the cabinet. When that happens, when there's a new prime minister appointed, all programs cease. The cabinet is reshuffled, and then a new cabinet minister is put into each place, and then they put in their selected cronies into select positions within the ministry, and then they restart the ministry.
So what's the purpose? What's the reason that Suga's really going to be leaving?
Well, unlike the States here, polls, the polls reflect confidence here. In America, polls usually reflect like or dislike of a candidate. But in Japan, actually, polls here reflect kind of like the lack of confidence in a leadership. So Suga's polls are just horrible. He's in the 30 percentile.
Are you talking about public polls?
Yeah, the public polls, which are run by, and in America, they're all different companies do polls. Here is basically it's NHK. It's the national television is like PBS running a poll, I guess. But NHK is the largest broadcaster here, and they do these polls. They do phone polls, and they check, and they do regional as well as national polling. And they do this once a month, and they just constantly once a month they check, and they chart, and you could see how people feel, especially since the pandemic. I mean, we've complained on here, right? How long it took them to get the vaccines for us.
Yeah,
how all the delays.
Since they started in America, they started with the vaccinations in January or February,
and we had nothing in January. February.
And I just got my second shot in end of August.
Right, and me too. So we're now both shot.
That's right. Chusha.
Jabbed.
Chusha.
Yeah, chusha. Yeah, but I use the word jabbed. I like the British
jabbed,
word.
Yeah.
I have my jobs. Anyway, but his handling of the pandemic and getting the vaccines done and promises that he made to digitize the country and all this stuff, it has been slow. And people can't live their lives normally because they can't go to work. They have things canceled, like what I'm going through, and what you've gone through in trying to get the vaccines.
We're coming back to COVID, that we touched on earlier.
Yeah.
I know in my life, I know that COVID is near people I know.
So, yeah, me too. I mean, yeah. My family have had. I think I said it on the music. My sister, her husband, my nephew,
here
nieces,
in Japan,
and here in Japan, I know people who have gotten COVID here in Niigata,
and people who have COVID now who know people I know.
Right. So
and I last year I had some students, maybe their family members had COVID or something. So that was, it's close.
But see, but the government response was too slow, and people blame that squarely on Suga. And so his job, so he's not running for re-election because he's going to take the fall for it, is basically what he's doing. So he's not going to seek re-election. He'll finish out his term and then fade back into the background. Like Abe, the Prime Minister Abe before Suga, he's still in the government. He's still working. He still represents his constituency.
Yeah.
See, unlike presidents, the prime minister still has a constituency. He's just a member of the House of Councilors or representatives. So once he's not prime minister, he goes back to his original position and does his duties. He's still in the government. It never stops. It's continuous. So that's what.
But they're elected though.
Of course. Now we have, it's like I said, after the LDP chooses its new leader, then Prime Minister Suga will dissolve the House of Representatives. That means everyone has to go back to the constituencies. They get, what I like about Japan though, in elections, they only get 2 weeks to run.
Oh, good.
That's it. They dissolve the government. They go back to the prefectures. They're back to their home states, and they have 2 weeks to run the election. So they campaign, and the day before the election, they have to stop campaigning. So they go back home, campaign, they get the vote, and come back. Those who win come back.
So are we in that 2 week period yet?
No, I said after the LDP dissolves. So we're not going to. Okay. That's not going to happen until September 29th. When Suga's term ends, then they'll dissolve. So
it's going to get very noisy here in October.
You'll have the trucks with the speaker. Yeah,
it's very noisy.
What I like is I'm going to see the guy standing by the highway when I'm driving to school. The guys out there. There was one guy in Niigata. He's riding a bicycle. He's got the flags on his bicycle. So I saw him across Bondi Bridge. He's riding a bike with the white gloves going, you're trying to be Mr. Echo Man, here.
It's pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, it's so maybe in the next musings we'll talk about that. We can
Yeah.
record some of that noise and stuff. Oh, I mean, in America, elections are like 2 years, and it's mostly run on TV. You
And
might have.
it's almost going to 3 years almost.
See, and that's ridiculous. See,
Yeah, too long.
Here you got 2 weeks. If you can't, and what I like about here, if you campaign outside of that, you go to jail. You get, I mean, people get arrested for that.
Well, in America, they would say, you can't do that.
They should.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm going to use a tissue. Go ahead, Greg, talk.
Well, so it is interesting. I don't particularly care about the Japanese political system.
Well, that's okay. Oh, sorry.
There's a little bit of comedy there, musings from Japan, folks. But and the reason is because I'm not eligible to vote, and were I eligible to vote, but I'm not, because I'm not a citizen of Japan, and I'm not even a permanent resident of Japan, even though I've been here 8 years.
I'm a permanent resident.
Yes, you are.
I've been here 30 years.
You're permanently here.
I'm rooted here.
Yep. So,
but I'm interested in politics and stuff. I've been working on this because I have to teach this to the students. My students, or college students, they changed, just so people know, on the musings, Japan's voting age was 20 until 3 years ago, or 3 or 4 years ago. Then they lowered it to 18. So the students I have now have been eligible to vote for, for a year at least. Some of my
voting.
I took a poll, right? Okay, and one class I'm teaching, there's 30 students, and I was guessing 30 students. I'm thinking maybe 6 have voted before. So I said, okay, everyone. So how many of you done the vote before? Senkyo arimasu ka? And I said, just raise your hand. And we're on online lessons, so I'm looking in the Zoom. So I'm looking at all the little pictures, and I'm looking. Te ageru, raise your hand. And I saw one, Greg, out of 30.
That's sad. If I were eligible to vote in the Japanese elections, I would vote.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I want to vote. I want to run. I think I could run for politics here. Wouldn't that be cool? Actually, in Aichi, your prefecture has had foreign representatives in the local government.
Fascinating.
It's up to
were
the
they
prefecture.
Citizens?
No, they were permanent residents like me. See, if you're a citizen, anybody can run, Greg. I mean, we're talking foreigners that were allowed to join the local government.
That's pretty amazing.
Every prefecture has the choice to do that. And I remember when I did this, I'm a member of the Nichibei Kyokai, as Greg knows, which is the Japan American Society. And I'm kind of I'm a board executive for the local area here in Niigata. And I also work with the U.S. Embassy a little bit. So as a liaison. But I remember when the prefecture, our state prefectural, the governor changed, and I met the new governor, and he would come to the Nichibei Kyokai. It was kind of a political party, so he comes and shaking hands, and then we're talking and stuff. And I said, and he says, yeah. He says, how do you like Niigata? I said, oh, it's great. I says, I wish I could vote though. Oh, really? How long have you been here? I said, well, I've been here 30 years. Oh. Kokuseki. I said, Kokuseki is a citizen. Are you Japanese? Oh, no. But I have permanent residency. He goes, I said, Naraken does it. Aichi does it. Ishikawa does it. Hyogo does it.
So you were talking to the governor?
Yeah, the governor of Niigata. I'm telling him, I want to vote. I said, he goes, Moshidoin, hey, that would be interesting. Yes.
I could see.
And then he goes off drinking beer and talking to somebody else.
Yep. I could see his office.
Blew me
I could
off.
see his office outside of my window of my apartment in Niigata that you
That's
named.
right. That's right. You saw him. You look out the window there, that big old building.
I will tell you, one time I was in Bandai City in Niigata, and I was talking to a boss of mine, and we were talking, and she said, oh, there goes the mayor. And he was riding his bicycle right by us.
That's right. He always rides his bicycle.
Yeah, the mayor of Niigata. And how big is Niigata, Mark?
The former mayor.
Yeah, the former mayor.
Niigata has a special city designation. It's designated as a metropolitan area. So if you say the metropolitan area, it's about almost 1 million now. The population has gone down. It's under 1 million. It's like 970,000 people. If you say Niigata City, meaning the original city center, with the not the Chuoku, Akiha, and all those different kind of words, but the original city is about 600,000 people. Bless you, Greg. Greg sneezed. I saw it. I saw the door go.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I think the next step in my life, Greg, is that I'm going to try to push to get the right to vote and maybe run for a local position here. What do you think?
Oh, you'd be good for it, Mark.
Yeah, I would freak people out.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's funny because I've just because of the positions I've been in as a principal of schools and a dean of departments and all the crap that I do, and being on this political group, this Nichibei Kyokai, I've gone golf with the mayor, the city, the head of the police department, the city council. Actually, it's a lot of the local city councilors, the two representatives in the House of Representatives and the House of Councilors, the Diet members, are in the Nichibei Kyokai. And I know them. So I know the national representatives of our area. They're in my group. They're on the board with me. I'm at the same position as, it would be like me being on the same position as Nancy Pelosi, sitting next to her. She would be in the same group. We're in the same sphere of influence. That's where I'm at in Niigata. So heck, if I'm hanging out with the Japanese Nancy Pelosi and whatever, why can't I join that group and try to affect change?
Yep. Well, I know you'll try.
Oh, and then you'll see me. I'll have the little white gloves on.
Yeah. And
that's waving. And I'll be waving, and I'll wear a shirt that says, I'll wear a shirt, and then you put this, what do you call it, the banner, the stripe, looks like a beauty queen kind of thing. It says Marin.
Yeah, I could just imagine that, Mark.
Oh, it'd be horrible.
I think all our other listeners could do the same.
Oh, it'd be horrible. It'd be horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. We, instead of calling this Musings, we'll call this Musings from Japan.
Well, this one was Musings from Japan, number 37.
Number 37. So sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we talked too much again. We always talk too much. I try to. We did the weather, we did music, and we did government. Hey, what else could you ask for? We didn't talk about the Paralympics. I wanted to do that, but very interesting. Maybe we'll do that. Still going on, and it's very interesting. I gotta admit it. It's great. I love this stuff. Anyway, Greg, thank you very much for thank you very much for Mark, co-hosting this. And ladies and gentlemen, please join us. Push like on every time you watch us. Push like
below.
Yeah, push like below. It's somewhere down here.
And subscribe.
It's not up there. It's actually. Yeah, so did I make a channel? I'm still a rookie at all this crap. I should make a channel, huh? Okay, I'm going to, this will be the last independent Musings from Japan. I'm going to make a channel, and that will feature, but then I have to go through and check copy, and it's a mess. I have to check the copyright on the music. Can I wear the gorilla shirt?
Can I wear the elephant shirt?
I mean, this is Gorilla Glue. I don't, my dad gave me this. I like this. I like Gorilla Glue.
Oh, and this shirt says Bangkok on it. Bangkok.
Oh, Thailand. Okay.
Thailand, Bangkok.
And that shirt behind me says Hanshin Tigers.
Yep. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. No.
Go Chunichi Dragons.
Get out of here. All right. Yeah. All right, Greggy. I'm out of here. Are you?
I'm out of here.
All right.
Thank you, everyone, for watching us.
We'll see you next time on Musings from Japan. Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Sayonara. Sayonara.
Sayonara.